Ever wondered why Hugh Fructose, the plasmoid GIF hybrid from Skillcheck, is more of a walking juice pouch than a formidable rogue? Well, let's delve into this character's fascinating potential and equally fascinating missteps. Hugh Fructose, the character we all know and love, or perhaps love to criticize, is a blend of two very different species. As a plasmoid, he possesses the incredible ability to shapeshift, granting him a level of versatility that is truly enviable. As a GIF, he inherits natural strength, providing a solid base for physical prowess. Now, imagine the possibilities. A shadowy figure able to morph into any form, slinking through the darkness of the night, a master of disguise, slipping undetected through the tightest security. A silent killer, his attacks as unpredictable as his ever-changing form. This could be Hugh Fructose, a rogue of unparalleled potential. His high dexterity, a gift from his plasmoid lineage, would make him a natural with blades. Picture him not as a puddle of goo, but as a deadly weapon, a rogue who strikes from the shadows, his attacks precise and lethal. This could be Hugh Fructose, the rogue that strikes fear into the hearts of his enemies, but alas, our dear Fructose seems to have other plans. Rather than utilizing his unique abilities for stealth and subterfuge, he opts for a more unconventional approach. He infiltrates a heavily guarded mansion, not as a shadowy assassin, but as a beverage, for crying out loud. A beverage in a mansion swarming with guards. It's not a frat party, Hugh. And the end result? As predictable as it is disappointing. A drunk Hugh Fructose, unable to fulfill his rogue duties. What a waste of potential. Charlie, I implore you, don't let Fructose's potential go to waste. Being different doesn't have to mean being ineffective. With the right choices, Hugh Fructose could be a legendary rogue. With his high dexterity and shape-shifting abilities, Hugh Fructose could be an unmatched rogue, if only he'd stop turning himself into a drink at the worst possible times. Imagine infiltrating a heavily guarded mansion. Guards everywhere. What do? If you're Hugh Fructose, you turn yourself into a drink. Yes, you heard that right. Our gooey friend here, with all the stealth and strength at his disposal, chooses to morph into a beverage. Now, I'm all for thinking outside the box, but this is more like thinking outside the reality. This isn't some high school mischief, Charlie, it's a dangerous mission. And what's a rogue without his element of surprise? A sitting duck, or in this case, a sitting drink. And let's not forget the aftermath. Hugh gets drunk, blurring his senses and hampering his abilities. Predictable, yes. Effective, not quite. It's like watching a master swordsman choose to fight with a wooden spoon. It's entertaining, sure, but it's not going to win you any battles. It's these missed opportunities that make Hugh Fructose's character a case study in wasted potential. Picture this. Instead of turning into a drink, Hugh could use his plasmoid abilities to mimic the appearance of a guard, or even a piece of furniture. He could have moved around unnoticed, gathering information, sabotaging their plans. But no, Charlie, you opted for the road less traveled, and in this case, the road less effective. You see, being different is commendable, but not when it hampers your effectiveness, not when it turns you into a laughingstock rather than a feared adversary. You could have been a master of deception, a silent assassin, a nightmare for your enemies. You could have been a legend, Charlie, but instead you chose to be a drink. It's not just about the choices you make, but also about the opportunities you miss. And let me tell you, Hugh Fructose, you've missed quite a few. So here's a piece of advice, Charlie. Next time you find yourself in a sticky situation, remember this. Being different doesn't mean being ineffective. With the right choices, you could be a legend. Don't just be a character, be an icon. Be the rogue that Hugh Fructose was meant to be. Now let's talk about what Hugh Fructose could be. If only he'd make better choices. You see, the beauty of Dungeons & Dragons lies in the boundless opportunities each character possesses. And our dear friend Hugh is no exception. Imagine, if you will, a Hugh Fructose who chooses the path of the sharpshooter. He could become a silent sniper, his gelatinous form taking on the shape of a longbow, his arrows forming from his own gooey substance. He could strike down foes from a distance, before they even realize what's happening. No loud noises, no messy confrontations, just the swift and silent execution of justice. Now let's consider the Mage Slayer. Magic users can be quite the thorn in the side of any rogue, their spells revealing hidden figures and disrupting carefully laid plans. But a Mage Slayer Hugh could shrug off their magic like water off a duck's back. He could slip past their magical barriers undetected and strike before they could even utter an incantation. It's a role that could elevate Hugh from being a mere sideshow to the main event. Or perhaps the path of the poisoner is more to Hugh's liking. With his unique plasmoid gift physiology, who's to say he can't produce his own toxins? A touch, a whiff, a single drop of his gooey substance could spell the end for his targets. The possibilities are as endless as they are terrifying. And let's not forget the fighter class. A few levels in fighter could grant Hugh some much-needed climbing skills. Imagine our gooey friends scaling walls, slipping through windows, and infiltrating fortresses with ease. No more need for the juice pouch disguise. Just a silent, stealthy approach that leaves his enemies none the wiser. You see, Charlie, the essence of Dungeons and Dragons isn't about sticking to a single character build or playing it safe. It's about exploring possibilities, taking risks, and carving out your own unique path. And that's exactly what Hugh Fructose needs to do. Sure, it's fun seeing him turn into a drink and get drunk, but wouldn't it be even more thrilling to see him outwit his enemies, take down targets, and become the rogue he was destined to be? The potential is there, Charlie. It's time to stop being a glorified juice box and become the assassin you were meant to be. So the next time you sit down for a game of skill check, think about what could be. Consider the endless possibilities that lie within Hugh Fructose. And remember, every character has the potential for greatness. It's up to you to unlock it. And with that, we conclude our deep dive into the potential of Hugh Fructose. Until next time, keep your dice rolling and your imaginations soaring. May your adventures be many and your victories sweet. Until then, this is Grandpa Ragie, signing off. So, what if Hugh Fructose stopped being a walking juice pouch and started being a formidable rogue? Let's indulge in this deliciously gooey thought for a moment. Imagine our dear Hugh, the plasmoid GIF hybrid, stepping out of the shadows, his form shifting and oozing with a deadly purpose. No longer the laughable shape-shifting beverage, he becomes an enigma, a phantom in the night. He's the whisper of a blade slicing through the air, the silent fall of a guard taken down without a sound. He's the strange, sticky residue on a stolen treasure, the only sign of his presence. The mansion halls echo with whispers of the Gooey Avenger, a name whispered in dread and awe. His shape-shifting abilities become more than a party trick. They become his deadliest weapon. Turning his form into sharp blades, he becomes a walking arsenal. Imagine the shock on the faces of those guards when they realized the harmless puddle they stepped over was their doom waiting to strike. Hugh's natural strength, combined with his newfound lethal sneakiness, makes him an unstoppable force. He's not just infiltrating mansions anymore, he's becoming the stuff of legends, a tale told to scare rookie guards on their first night. This change would send ripples through the show. The dynamics would shift as Hugh moves from comic relief to a serious player. Other characters would have to adjust, strategize differently, and potentially re-evaluate their own roles. The plot would twist and turn with Hugh's every shapeshift, making the game even more exciting and unpredictable. And Charles, think of the respect Hugh would command. The awe, the fear, the recognition he'd gain. Isn't that a sweeter taste than any drink he could turn into? Remember, Charles, every character has room for growth. It's about making the right choices and embracing the potential. So let's hope Hugh ditches the Juice Pouch Act and rises as the Gooey Avenger we know he can be. Until next time, keep it rolling.